Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with Birch Press Designs, and I'm only going to be using one of the layers from the Calen Layering Die Set. So this is just layer A. So you can see it's all of the fine detail. It's the last layer that you put on top, basically. Let's go with that. So I'm going to use this, and I'm actually going to make 4 cards. So I really want spring to come around. So very springy colors. We're going to make some shaker cards, and how we can best utilize the materials that we have for our cards. So let's get to it, and I will show you I have everything pre-cut and ready to go. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my card bases. So each one of these sections has a card base. I have the backing for my shaker, and then I already have my cutout. And again, I'm only using the layer A from the set. So you can see I have my sequins. So I really dug into, I've got many packs of sequins. Let's use them. So dug into that for what each color would have. Now, for each of the centers that I cut out, I have them sitting here. And I'm just going to interchange them between each of these, of the layers. So I think I'm going to put the green with that pink. I think I'm going to put the yellow with the pool. No. I think I'm going to put the yellow with the green, and then I think I'm going to put the pink with the blue, and then the blue with the goldish yellow. So you can see from these cutouts here, it helps you to make more cards in one shot. For my shaker, I'm actually going to use a vellum. I'm really liking the look of vellum. I think it gives it a different atmosphere, I don't know, look, instead of using the clear acetate. So I'm going to use that instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over because I want you to see all of this going on together. So I'm going to move these here, and I'm going to build the shaker part. So we're going to just push these up a little bit too, because you know I will flip those right around. Now which way? Okay, yeah. So the first thing I want to do is I want to glue my vellum down first. So this can actually also be like a little bit of a production mode as well. All right, so I've got that. Let's go to the next one. Now again, you can make these as note cards. You can add a sentiment to them. You know, however you would want to do that is absolutely your choice. I need to squish that up just a little bit. There we go. That one's set. I do like to make note cards. And when I mean note cards, basically a card without a sentiment attached to it. Because then, I'm a huge procrastinator. Just saying. Then as birthdays and events creep up on me, I'm ready. I have a card. Sometimes I find when I put a sentiment on a card, I rarely get a chance to use the card because that sentiment is so specific. So there's a lot of times where, yeah, I don't want to limit myself. Okay, so now we've got our backings or our vellums all in place. So now what I want to do is I want to get my double-sided foam tape, and I'm going to double up, and I know I'm going to need a lot of this. So what I like to do is I like to pull it. This is tough to show on camera because I make them so long. So as you can see, I take this end and I line it up. Let's turn this just a little bit. And then I pinch that, and then you can see I take my 2 fingers and I slide along. That kind of keeps it in line together. And that's how I get my double-sided lengths. So I'm going to do a couple of these, maybe not so long because I can't do those in the camera when they're that long. So we'll just make them shorter. And then if I have any spares, I do always keep them. Bring it down, pinch it through. And that should be enough. Okay. So let's do our first build here. I'll get the easy ones in place first. So that's the top and bottom. Let's see here. I'm going to cut that right there. And then I'm going to cut this in half. And keep my fingers crossed that it's a good width. All right, so I'm going to make sure I go in there. And come down. So I'm just making sure that I'm on the other side of that opening, and I'm making sure that I'm touching in between each of those. And same thing. I want to make sure that this is close to the edge. And I've got the gaps closed. Now I'm just going to put actually, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut that one in half too. I'm going to bring this right up. And then I'm just going to put 4 corners. And what I'll do is I'll get that. So I'm creating like a bumper. Where's that other piece? Okay, so that's what each of these are going to look like. So I'm going to do the rest of these and I will be right back. Okay, so we have each of the panels set. All right, so I'm just going to pull these down because now, again, this is a great production type spring card making. Let's call it that. So now I'm just going to dump my sequins in there. And I'm sure they will fly all over the place because that's what they do. At least for me. Alright, next one. You know, I should probably cover that up. Let's be daring. Let's see. This one's easy because it's in one of my little triangles, which I love those things. Don't you just love statically? Not. Okay. So, all right, now the fun part where we carefully pull our release papers off. This is why I do make sure that when I'm making a shaker card, now I'm going to very carefully move these over here. When I make a shaker card, I do really make sure that the tape that I'm using to make, to lift this up, the tape that I'm doubling, that I can remove the release paper easy. There are some of the double-sided foam tapes that I have where, like the one that I get from Uline, it just doesn't work. All right, so now I'm going to take my backing and I'm going to place that down. And when I do make a shaker, I do make it a separate component of my card. And that's what that one's going to look like. So I do like the frosted look of that. So I'm going to do that now to each of these. I'm going to carefully, now I'm getting a little bit bold here with my release papers. I'm moving a little quickly. I just have a habit that something gets caught, it gets snagged, the card flips, and everything goes out. It's just what happens. All right, so that one is set. Okay. Separate those out a little bit. There's that one and our last one. Yeah, that was me. See? They went all over the place. I'm getting a little confident here. And we'll put those down. Got glue all over the place. All right. And there you go. There's that one. So again, I do really like the vellum. I like the vellum because it gives it a frosted look. I really do like the frosted look on that. Now, the only thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these and I'm going to pretty much, you know, puzzle piece these back onto my pieces. So I'm going to use my tweezers, and I'm just going to put make sure my glue is ready, because I didn't put my pin back in. Yay me. There we go. That's what our craft mats are for. So I'm just going to put like little tiny dots every so often. I don't need the entire thing covered, and I want to make sure that it doesn't, you know, ooze everywhere either too. So I'm just going to go around the ones that are just a little bit bigger. I'm just going to pat some of that glue away. And I'm just going to set this in. Playing camera. Okay, I am now. So I'm going to move that as we go to make sure that it does lay flat up against the vellum. Now, what I'm also going to get is I'm going to grab a block so that that can get that pressure on there. And then I'm just going to do the same thing for these. And again, very minimal amount of glue. And just making sure I hit every section. I'm going to bring that in on an angle and make sure that's hitting those areas and is snug so that it won't not fit into the other areas. So again, I'm going to move the block onto this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of my pieces glued in. I'll also get this one set in there as well, so that you can see what that looks like. So I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see, one, I'm back. And two, you can see that I've got all of the inserts. Now, you could have also, since this center part comes out, you could have interchanged them. Excuse me. You know, have the different colors or anything that you would want, you know, to see on these cards. Let me get my drink here because I have a tickle in my throat now. So sorry. Yeah, I had to stop the video on that one. It was more than a tickle. Sorry about that. So you can see with the shaker bits that I have in there, you've got this frosted look that's going on. So again, you can look for those brighter sequins. You know, maybe there's some sequins that you've just held on to because they're so bright. By using the vellum, it kind of pushes them back, but you can still see that element. Same thing with these. There was a lot of, you know, lime greens, navy blues, and some blacks within that one. So we've got some good contrast, you know, going on with that. So again, these cards are ready for whatever I want to do, whether it's a birthday, whether it's a get well, or whether it's just thinking of you. These cards are absolutely ready for any occasion that you need. And yes, they are in spring colors because we now need spring to get here. I'm done with winter, and we haven't even started in March yet, and usually March is our worst month. So yay. So I do hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the idea of making mass production cards using only one layer of the Birch Press layering dies. You can do so many things with them. So I'm hoping this is just one idea that I gave to you. If you as always, the products that I used will be listed down below. And if you should have any questions, please make sure you leave those down below as well. And I will make sure that I get back to you as soon as I can. If you've noticed, I've gotten caught up on that. Yay! Okay, so now I lost my train of thought. Oh, if you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to be a subscriber to my channel. Please join my group if you're already a subscriber. As always, I say thank you. I very much appreciate it, and I'm very grateful that you are here with me. I do apologize for that background noise. It looks like the fire, ambulance, and police are driving by all at the same time. So if you heard that, I am so sorry. Okay. Make sure you ring the bell so that you know when the next video goes live, and make sure you hit the thumbs up. I hope everyone is enjoying their day, but always remember what's most important for me, and we need to do it every day if we can. Always be creative, guys. Take care.